Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
Ironheart Origin Explained, full story of Riri Williams. Riri Williams' journey from a young girl in Chicago to one of the Marvel Universe's brightest minds is one of determination, brilliance, and tragedy. Whether in the comics or her MCU debut in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Riri's origin showcases how genius, trauma, and the drive to prove herself made her into Ironheart. Let's explore Riri Williams' full story, her early life, genius-level intellect, rise as a hero in the comics, and her on-screen journey in the MCU. Comic book origin. Riri Williams was born shortly after the death of her biological father. Riri Williams Sr. raised in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood. She lived with her mother Ronnie, her sister Sharon, and her stepfather. From a young age, it was clear Riri wasn't like other kids. At just 5 years old, she displayed intense behavioral and emotional patterns that led her parents to seek psychological help. After a series of tests, she was certified as a super genius. While most children were learning to ride a bike, Riri was inventing. Her intellect, however, came with emotional challenges. She became introverted, preferring to live in her own mind and in her garage, where she worked on devices she hoped might one day help superheroes. During elementary school, Riri told her teacher she wanted to be a scientist. But instead of the discouragement she secretly hoped for, to motivate herself with a chip on her shoulder, her teacher encouraged her. When told that prejudice against Black women in science was a thing of the past, Riri glared until the teacher reluctantly told her she'd never be like Tony Stark. That moment lit a fire in her. Proving that wrong became her mission. At 10 years old, she met her only friend, Natalie Washington, who took an interest in Riri's garage inventions. The two bonded quickly. Riri's life seemed to be on an upward trajectory when, just a year later, she received a scholarship to MIT. But tragedy struck when she was 13. While having a picnic at Marquette Park, Riri and her family were caught in a drive-by shooting. Although Riri herself was unharmed, both Natalie and her stepfather were killed. This traumatic event had a lasting impact on her, adding a deeper motivation to her work, protecting others in a world filled with senseless violence. Becoming Ironheart in the comics. Now a student at MIT, Riri poured her heart into engineering. Inspired by Iron Man, she challenged herself to build her own suit of armor. She secretly reverse-engineered Tony Stark's Iron Man armor Model 40, one using scavenged materials, and even some stolen parts from the MIT campus. Eventually, when campus security caught onto her project, Riri donned the armor and flew off, showing the world, and herself, that she could do it. This moment marked her first steps into superhero territory. Tony Stark eventually found out about her and supported her efforts, acting as a mentor figure, even after his physical body fell into a coma when he guided her through an AI version of himself. Riri would go on to adopt the codename Ironheart, stepping into her own as a hero. Unlike many legacy characters, she wasn't content with just mimicking her predecessor. She gave her armor its own aesthetic, its own heart, literally, and her journey represented innovation and legacy combined.
Maximum acceleration, I just need to adjust my Euler angles and that's...
MCU origin, from MIT to Wakanda. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Riri Williams was introduced in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever as a brilliant but low-profile MIT student. Her love for mechanics began as early as age 3, learning from her stepfather Gary, who dreamed of building airplanes. While Gary didn't survive to see it, Riri fulfilled that dream by building machines far beyond what anyone imagined. At MIT, she stayed in a single dorm, mostly keeping to herself while running a side hustle, doing other students' homework in exchange for money. She used that income to secretly fund her passion project, building her own Iron Man-style suit. But one particular invention, the vibranium detector she designed from junk as a challenge to herself, caught the attention of powerful forces. The CIA used her design to locate vibranium outside Wakanda, unknowingly threatening the underwater kingdom of Talokan. Namor, the leader of Talokan, viewed Riri as a direct threat. As political tensions escalated, Shuri and Okoye were sent to find and protect her. Initially skeptical, Riri met Shuri at her dorm. She tried to escape through the bathroom window, only to find Okoye waiting. After a brief misunderstanding and an insult about Okoye's makeup, Riri reluctantly agreed to go with them. She led them to her garage, her sanctuary filled with inventions and blueprints. When the FBI stormed in, Riri burned her vibranium detector plans and activated her homemade armor. With Shuri and Okoye in tow, she blasted out of the garage, evading drones and agents mid-flight. At one point, she even lost consciousness from lack of oxygen while taking down a drone, only to recover just in time before crashing. Unfortunately, the Talakanal intercepted them. Riri and Shuri were captured and taken to Talokan, where they were held as leverage to stop the US and Wakanda from further meddling in vibranium affairs. Inside Namor's cenote, Riri panicked while waiting for a rescue. Nakia eventually infiltrated Talokan to save them, killing a guard in the process. The escape triggered a furious response from Namor, who launched an attack on Wakanda.
For the Queen.
Ramonda's sacrifice and the final battle. Back at the Wakandan Citadel, Queen Ramonda and Riri worked together to assist citizens during Namor's attack. When Namor threw a hydro bomb into the room, Ramonda sacrificed herself to save Riri from drowning. The guilt of this moment weighed heavily on the young inventor. Determined to make things right, Riri helped Shuri analyze Namor's physiology. Together, they figured out that heating his body might weaken his abilities. With Wakandan tech, Riri began building a new, more advanced Ironheart armor, sleeker, red and black, with a heart-shaped core. She also assisted Shuri in recreating the heart-shaped herb, a move that would allow Shuri to become the new Black Panther. After Shuri emerged from her transformation, the two went into battle together. During the final confrontation, Riri used a second vibranium detector to lure the Talakanal and flew around the battlefield, engaging enemies with precision. She faced off against Namora in the sky, a brutal hand-to-hand aerial battle. Riri ultimately blasted Namora off her back, sending her crashing into the sea. Meanwhile, Shuri and Namor clashed in an intense showdown that ended with Shuri forcing a truce. Wakanda and Talokan agreed to cease hostilities, at least for now. The aftermath, a hero's next chapter. In the wake of the battle, Riri was cleared of any crimes tied to the CIA vibranium detector. However, Shuri told her she couldn't keep the Ironheart armor, citing both political reasons and the danger it might attract. Riri accepted this decision, acknowledging her responsibility. She and Shuri shared a moment of mutual respect before Riri returned to MIT. Though she had to leave the suit behind, her spirit remained intact, and her future as Ironheart was just beginning.
This is so much bigger than that.
Legacy of Ironheart. Riri Williams represents a new generation of heroes, brilliant, young, and deeply personal. She doesn't follow the traditional path of inheriting powers or suits. She builds hers from scratch, driven by trauma, intellect, and a desire to protect. In both comics and the MCU, Riri's journey isn't just about being the next Iron Man. It's about creating her own identity as Ironheart. With an upcoming Disney Plus series Ironheart in development, Riri's journey is far from over. From a Chicago garage to the labs of MIT and the skies above Wakanda, Riri Williams has proven she's ready for the big leagues. Ironheart has arrived, and she's just getting started. The final takeaway. And that's the origin of Ironheart explained. From her comic book roots as a teenage genius in Chicago to her action-packed debut in the MCU, Riri Williams isn't just following in Iron Man's footsteps. She's carving out her own legacy with heart, brilliance, and resilience. With her own Disney Plus series on the horizon, we're bound to see even more of her journey unfold. Whether she's battling threats from the surface or standing up to kings beneath the sea, Ironheart is proving that brains, courage, and purpose can build more than just armor. They can build a hero. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more superhero origins, MCU deep dives, and everything in between. Let us know in the comments, what are you most excited to see in Ironheart?